We're still on 4.2, and we're doing our last example way here on the bottom. And I labeled example 1, which is wrong, but anyway, it is a simplify question. This one here, it is simplify. There's no way we can evaluate this because we don't have a value answer. So these guys, the question above here, you could say simplify or evaluate. Basically, when you evaluate it, you're getting down to a value answer. When you simplify it, you're trying to make it as simple as possible. So both of these instructions would be fine for these questions here. One thing I wanted to point out on these questions here is that I put these guys in brackets. You have to actually put the brackets here. Okay, for the first, because it's two terms. Here you have to put it as well to separate the two terms. Some people write it this way and they go, oh, okay, I didn't write the brackets, but it's the same thing. And they write it this way. They go 1 over 3 squared minus 1 over 3 divided by 1/3. That's not the same thing, right? Because by order of operations, you want to do this first. So remember, this here on the top means that this is like an order of operations bracket. You want to finish all that, finish the bottom. This one doesn't need to be in the bracket because the denominator has only one term. Right, so you don't need to put a bracket there. But the top, you have 2 of them. So with 2 of them, you have to put a bracket around the whole thing. Otherwise, you're only dividing. So order of operations here would say this, right? And that's not what we mean. We mean do all of this and then divide by that. So that's if you want to write it horizontally. If you want to write it vertically, you can. You would write this over this. That's fine. Just make sure that the equal sign goes below it. So if you want to write it like this, or sorry, not below it, but in the right spot, please don't put the equal signs up here. Okay, that's just silly because now you only have, so put it in the middle because that tells you that I have all of the top and all of the bottom, right? So if you're going to write it like this, I do require you to put the equal signs more closely to the middle, not way at the top or way at the bottom, right? Because then it doesn't even look like the right question. So if you put it here, you're saying the numerator divided by the denominator. So if you want to write it horizontally, you can. What I'm going to point out here is that you have to make sure you put the brackets there because that means all of the numerator divided by all of the denominator. Okay, so all of the numerator divide by that, all of the numerator divide by the denominator. So make sure that's there. Then on this example, my instructions here says, leave the answers with the positive exponents, except answers with variables as powers. Leave them with negatives or positive, it doesn't matter. So here, I never want to leave an answer like this. So if I got a question 2 to the negative 3 and that was my answer, I want you to leave it like this. Sorry. Let me do this here. So what this means here is that, for example, 1 over 2 to the, I keep doing this because I'm rushing. If I say 2 to the negative 3, I want you to write it this way. So if I said 2 to the negative 3, I don't want you to leave your answer like that. You would finish it up by saying 1 over 2 to the 3, which is 1 over 8. Okay, so that's what I mean. So leave it like this. But if I said to you, and we're going to do that in these questions down here, that my answer was x to the negative 2m, that's okay. So this one, you have to finish it. Right? This one, you can stop here. So these are 2 different examples. If my answer looks like this, 2 to the negative 3, I would want you to keep finishing it. Go 1 over 2 to the 3, 1 over 8. So finish it off. Okay? If my answer has a negative in the numerator, but there's also a variable, I don't need you to finish that off because you don't know what m is. You actually can't calculate it. You're going to imagine what that is. And some people go, but I want to make m positive. But you don't know if m is negative. If m is negative, it automatically makes it positive. M is a variable. So don't try to fix something you're not sure if you're fixing something. Okay, so that's okay to leave answers like this. But when it's just numbers, you want to finish it off. Okay, so knowing this, we're doing this question. This question here says it's x to the, or m to the x minus 3y. So see how there's variables in both the base and the exponent. But we're going to work with it just like it was all just regular numbers. So if I said to you, for example, m squared to the 3, m to the 5 to the 4. What would you do first? So imagine, if you're overwhelmed with all the variables, imagine what it would happen if it wasn't variables. So if it was just m like that, what would you do first here? Yes. Yes. Multiply these guys, right? So just myself, I'm telling myself what I would do, and I would get m to the 6, m to the 20. True? I don't need a bracket. You can put it beside. You can put a bracket if you want, or right, that's fine. And then you would add them. So then you would add them and go m to the 26. Okay, so we know that. Knowing that, that's in your brain going, okay, I know how to do a regular question without the variables. You're going to do the same thing. So we're still going to do this, like that. Power to power means you multiply. So I'm going to put times here. You don't have to put this, but for your notes, I'm going to zoom in a little. Okay, so there, power to power means we multiply. Again, you don't have to put those symbols. That's just my brain thinking I would multiply those exponents, just like if it was like this. Okay, then you go multiply. How do I multiply 2 times x minus 3? You would do the distributive property. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Does that make sense? Do you need me to zoom in again, or is that? Okay, you also got it on your page. Okay, all right. Okay, so we're going to go m to the 2x minus 6y. Do you see how I distributed to both of them? Okay, I'll leave that in a bracket for now. Sometimes the brackets help me kind of distinguish. M to the 4, so that'll be 12x minus 4y. Is that okay? Okay, and then what do we do here is when you have multiplication. So think to a number question. I always picture this. I go, okay, I'm using the same properties. This is the exponent laws, right? Then I know I add it. So then here, between these two here, I'm going to add them. Again, you don't have to draw the pink. I'm just showing you what I'm thinking in my head, right? So this is my brain going, okay. So then that would be m to the, and you add the two exponents. So it'll be 2x minus 6y plus 12x minus 4y. I added the two exponents. Can I simplify those? Yep.
Because you're adding m and m, do you have to like put a square too? Like
Did you do this here?
Yes,
No.
you already added them.
You added them. So once you add it, you don't also square it. There's no exponent of 1. Good question, because that's what people ask. They say, but shouldn't I square the m? You're not doing, that would be if the m's didn't have an exponent, it would be m squared. But because the exponents are there, you've already got it covered with here. So don't also square it. And I get that question a lot because you feel like doing something, but look, you didn't do it here. 6 plus 20, so just this plus this. Don't also square it, yeah. All right, so just add it, not also again. So then here, you're going to go 14x minus 10y. So this is where I was saying, right, so that's it. So don't just add the exponents one time, and then that's it. This is where I was saying, you know how they don't want negatives? People go, but wait, we have negatives in the exponent, and then you guys get confused. Not if it's a negative variable, just leave it alone. If it's a variable question like this, like if it's a number question like this, if it was negative 26, I would want you to keep going, right? So put it 1 over. So for example, if I got m to the negative 3, would I leave that? No, I would finish this as 1 over m cubed. So this I would finish as well. So I want this to be positive. Okay, so, sorry, off the page. So if I had this with the variable on the base, so we know for numbers, if it's a negative, we want you to finish. If it's variable, you can leave a negative in the variable, that's okay. What if it's a variable on the base, but a number here that's negative? I want you to finish it off. So finish it to here. Okay? So for this question here, so that makes sense? So the types here. If I have just numbers with negatives, we want to finish it off. If I have variable to variable, stop here. And if I have a variable with numbers, I can finish it off a little. So this is just variable to variable. I don't need you to go any further. Don't try to get rid of the negative. It's good. It's beautiful. That's it. Okay, so let's try the next one. So same idea. You're picturing these as numbers, right? Up here, just without the variable. So if I had b to the something, something, divided by b to the something, b over here. What I would do first is I would definitely do the power to a power, right? So I would do this part here first, and power to power means you multiply. Power to power means we multiply, so I would do distributive properties. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So my next line here, I'm going to fix that one in a second too. I'll get to that one in a minute. Let me do this part first. This will be b. This is negative 2x minus 6y. Okay, negative 2x minus 6y divided by b to the 4x plus 4y. Is that okay? You can put brackets on those if you want, but because it's divide, it makes it feel like it's grouped. Okay.
Can you make the first part a fraction first, or are you allowed to do that?
You're making more work, so you're going to do a fraction on it. So I don't want you to do the reciprocal until the very last step. So don't do that yet. Yeah. Okay. It creates more work. Then here, this is b to the 1 over b to the 2x. 1 over b can be written another way. That can be written, so ignore this. 1 over b is actually b to the negative 1. Does that make sense? 1 over b is b to the negative 1. This is this. If I do that, then look, I have all the base b now again, without having to do a division at the end. So again, it makes your life easier. Like that. Okay, I'll show you an alternative to that as well. Okay, but let's try it this way. So we have this, so I'll show you an alternative to that. Okay, so then over here, now we're going to go left to right. Oh shoot, still have to do this one, power to power. I'll show you a different way of doing this as well, right? So there's two ways to approach this one. 1 over b is this, multiplication. Okay, so I'm going to do the question again in a minute. Like that. Times. So you can do it this way, and then now you're going to go left to right. For division, you're subtracting, right? So I'm going to do this. You can do this all in one go. Watch. So again, don't double the exponents because the exponents are what we're doing. So here I'm going to get, ready? Negative 2x minus 6y. I want you to do minus 4x plus 4y. The minus, division is minus. And then this becomes addition again, so plus negative 2x. So I'm going left to right, and that's my base. Just make sure that your base is a little bit bigger than your exponent here. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to, it looks like b, right? So make the b, and I wrote the exponent there. So you can see I'm still writing big. So it doesn't mean it's an exponent you have to write super small. Just make the base lower and kind of bigger. So then I've got my answer almost, negative 2x minus 2y, or minus 6y, 2, like that. Plus negative 2x. So can I finish it off? Negative 2x minus 4x is negative 6x. So minus 8x, I think. Negative 6y minus 4y is negative 10y. And that's it. Stop. Stop there. So this is the one where I was saying you don't have to fix all the negative exponents. Some people go, no negatives. Not if it's a variable. If there's a variable in the negative exponent, leave it alone. Okay, so you can stop there. We're good. Okay, or. So I'm going to do an or scenario. So or, and both these ways work. So or. This step here, sometimes people go, I don't understand where you get the negative from. It's underneath. So this part would be the same. So b to the negative 2 minus 6y divided by b to the 4x plus 4y. So that's all the same, right? Then here, if you don't like what I did here, then what you would do is you would bring it into both. So you would say 1 to the you go 1 to the 2x and b to the 2x. So you would bring in the 2x to both the top and the bottom. If that makes more sense, do it that way. Then you're going to get this, b to the negative 2 minus 6y divided by b to the 4x plus 4y. And then what is 1 to the power of anything? What's 1 to the power of anything? 1 times 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 1. That's 1. 1 to the power of anything is 1. So then it's 1 on the top, and then you're dividing it by b to the 2x, right? So then this part here goes under there. So then you'll do division the other way. So you'll go add the 2 and then subtract that. So that works as well. So if you're like, I don't like how you flipped it, you don't have to do that reciprocal thing. You can just put this one underneath now. So then you would subtract these two and subtract this one as well. Okay, so dot, 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 you should get the same answer. Right, so you would subtract these two and then minus the 2x, but minus 2x is already here. Okay, so if you want to try it that way, you can. Okay, but you should get the same answer. So either way is okay. Okay for that? All right, so if you're like, I want to do it this way, then put it under and subtract.